A lawyer? Can't I just do this myself? Hi entrepreneurs, I'm Vicky Brown, and you're in the right place if you want to engage your team, boost your business, and grow your leadership muscle. You know, the minute someone on your team raises a serious concern, whether it's harassment, discrimination, retaliation, theft, or even a messy policy violation, you're no longer in everyday management mode. You've stepped into an investigation, whether you want to or not. And in that moment, what you do next matters more than you might think, not just because of the legal risks, which are very real, but because your team is watching. How you handle the complaint is going to shape how safe people feel speaking up in the future. It sets the tone. It sets the tone for trust, for culture, and for what kind of leader you are when things get uncomfortable. But I get it. Most small business owners don't think of themselves as people who do investigations. That sounds like something for big companies with HR departments and attorneys in-house. You're just trying to keep things running. So when something serious pops up, the natural instinct is to fix it, and fix it fast. Talk to the people involved, smooth it over, move on. And that's where you need to pause, because internal investigations are not just about getting to the bottom of a story. They're about how you get there. The process matters. The documentation matters. Your neutrality matters. If you shortcut any of that intentionally or not, you may create more risk, not less, even if your intentions were good. Now, let's be clear. Not every complaint requires outside help. If two employees are clashing over communication styles or someone's frustrated about scheduling, those may be situations you can handle internally. You don't need to bring in a consultant every time someone gets their feelings hurt. But you do need a framework for deciding when it's okay to DIY and when it's time to call in backup. So, here's what I want you to ask yourself. First, what is the actual nature of the complaint? If it doesn't involve a legally protected issue, so not harassment, not discrimination, not retaliation, and if it doesn't involve anyone in leadership or ownership, then sure, you may be able to handle it in-house. But you still need to check your position. Are you neutral? Can you actually conduct this fairly and objectively? Do you have the skills and the emotional distance to manage the process without bringing in your own bias, even unintentionally? Because the truth is, if you can't remain neutral, you're not the right person to lead the investigation, period. Now, on the other hand, if the complaint touches anything sensitive like harassment, retaliation, or discrimination, you're in a completely different category. Same goes if you or someone close to you is named or even adjacent to the issue. In those cases, it's absolutely in your best interest to step aside and bring in outside help. And I don't mean your business coach or your friend who's great with people. I mean someone who is trained, qualified, and understands employment law. Now, that might be an employment attorney or an HR pro who specializes in workplace investigations. And if you're in California, pay very close attention to this part. Only certain people are legally allowed to conduct employment-related investigations, specifically either a licensed attorney or someone with a private investigator's license. Most HR consultants don't have that license. So, if you're in California, talk to your employment counsel first. Make sure you know what's legally required before you hand this off to anyone. So, what does calling in help actually do for you? Well, it gives you a buffer. It protects you from being accused of bias or missing something critical, or worse, looking like you retaliated just because someone brought a concern to your attention. It keeps the process clean, fair, documented, and most importantly, defensible. Because when investigations go sideways, it's rarely because of the outcome. It's because the process looks sloppy or unfair. And trust me, when people don't trust the process, they don't stay quiet. They file complaints. They talk to lawyers. They tell other employees that nothing happens when you speak up. Now, let's talk about the mistakes that I've seen over and over again. Number one, treating the investigation like a conversation instead of a formal process. You're not just having coffee chats. You're documenting interviews. You're collecting facts. You're analyzing whether policies were violated. Number 2, poor documentation. You need a clear record of who you talked to, when, what they said, and what actions you took. That documentation might be your only protection if things escalate later. Number 3, overpromising confidentiality. Look, you can't promise that what someone says will never be shared. You can promise discretion, but you have to be honest about your responsibility to act. Number 4, waiting too long. Delayed investigations can come across as careless or negligent. If someone brings you something serious and you sit on it for 2 weeks because you're busy or unsure what to do, that delay could come back to bite you. Number 5, doing the initial interviews, then failing to follow up. Just because you dealt with a complaint doesn't mean your job is done. You need to check in, make sure there's no retaliation, and ensure that things have actually improved. And number 6, confusing intent with impact. It doesn't matter if someone didn't mean to offend or thought it was a joke. What matters is how it was experienced by the other person and whether that behavior violated your policies or the law. So, back to your decision-making framework. Ask yourself, is this just a simple policy question, or is there potential legal exposure? Am I or anyone in leadership personally involved in this issue? Can I remain objective, or is my judgment clouded? And is there a chance this could become a claim with the EEOC or some other agency? If you're hesitating on any of those questions, it's time to get help, because what you don't want to do is try to manage it yourself, mess it up, and then have to call someone in after the damage is done. And once you bring in an outside investigator, your job actually shifts. You're no longer leading the process, you're supporting it. So be transparent with your investigator. Let them know what happened, what you're worried about, what you hope to accomplish. Give them access to whatever they need: emails, policies, time cards, communication records. And then step back. Don't try to steer the investigation. Don't nudge them toward a preferred outcome. Don't try to protect someone because they've been with you since day one. Let the facts lead. That's the only way that this works. And when the investigator comes back with findings or recommendations, listen. You may not like everything they say, but if you ignore it or drag your feet on taking action, you've just wasted your money and possibly undermined the whole process. Look, internal investigations are uncomfortable. No one likes doing them, but they're also necessary. They're part of leading a business. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be fair. You have to show your team that when something goes wrong, you're willing to address it clearly, professionally, and with integrity. So here's the bottom line. If it's a low-stakes issue and you can handle it objectively, fine. Document everything, handle it professionally, and move on. If there's any risk of bias, legal exposure, or leadership involvement, bring in help right away. And either way, always document what you did, when you did it, and why you made the choices that you did. Because in the end, it's not just about protecting the company. It's about doing right by your people and showing up as a leader who handles hard things the right way. That's what protects you long after the issue is resolved. And remember, your inspired leadership is the secret sauce to having a high-performance team and a wildly successful business you'll love. I'll see you next time on Leader's Journey.